At first, I couldn't truly grasp why they would set up the stage for me to break my oath about women. And then it hit me. This wasn't just about attacking Christianity and trying to make me look like a hypocrite, or at least feel like a hypocrite because they did not know whether or not I would admit it in my videos. This was also about proving to them that I am no better than they are because they break their oath consistently. I will say this, I broke my oath once or twice, okay? You know, if you consider, unless you consider once it's broken, okay? And before I did, I laid down my justification for it publicly. Then I made another oath a few days back. There's a big difference between that and breaking your oath every single day as a corrupt law enforcement officer, as a corrupt shrink. So yes, in that regard, I am better than they are. They are some oath-breaking scum who are unrepentant sinners. And this goes back to my argument about a repentant sinner versus an unrepentant sinner. If you want to know more, I'll put in the comments. Now for my 2016 Psychiatry is a Fraud series, I'll give you a little combo. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at it from any possible argument they could possibly have. Okay? It's been going on 2 years now since I've been in the psych ward. So this idea that I'm going to the psych ward every week or, every month or anything like that holds no weight. And I'm not going for the psych ward for cutting myself or trying to commit suicide. I'm going to there for arguing with my parents and for yelling in my room. So any argument that, well, you're a threat to society, do I have a long violent criminal history? No, so automatically that argument is nullified. If there's anything to it, it's so little that you couldn't possibly justify covertly drugging or force medicating me for that reason alone. Now let's go to the other reason. Let's go to the other idea. This other idea that, well, we're trying to help you. How are you trying to help me? You're trying to help me live a quote unquote normal life. I graduated college. What's keeping me from living a quote unquote normal life? It's pretty much three things. One, the political climate, and the job market. Two, my political beliefs. And three, because you're doing what you're doing, because the nature of mental health and how I've been treated by law enforcement and my family, the thought of being a normal member of society is absolutely disgusting and unbearable. So keep in mind that my political beliefs and my decision to pursue my political beliefs instead of being assimilated into the man's job market, if you will, and have a normal job, if you will, is a life decision. This isn't a decision that some crazy man made when he was having symptoms of a mental illness. This is a decision that I've made for 6 years going on 7, every moment of every day of my life, in the psych ward and out, on medication and off. While I was at La Selva, I was uploading videos in outpatient after I'd been in psychiatric institutions for a month and a half or so, right? Yes, a month and a half. So, what argument could they possibly have if not to oppress me, if not to persecute me for my political views. Yes, psychiatry is a control mechanism. So is mental health. This is not about being afraid of me hurting myself or someone else. This is about them trying to force me to believe the way they want me to live the way they want me to. Trying to deny me my right to pursue happiness, to live my life according to what I believe, even though I'm not hurting anyone else or myself. This is key. This is key. Even during my darkest moments, when I started going down the path of Islamic extremism, it was a result of what they were doing. And even during those moments, they were acting in a way that was far more un-American than I ever was. You should have a right to explore any philosophy as extreme as you want, as long as you're not hurting anyone or yourself. You should be able to say whatever you want, as long as people don't see a logical threat. I've never laid a hand on my parents. For them to pretend that I'm a threat to them or to myself when I've never laid a hand on them holds no weight whatsoever. There are people that beat their wives all the time, and their wives say, you know what? He would never really hurt me. He just does it because he loves me. But people who I have never harmed a hair on their head would have you believe that I'm a threat to them, because that's why you would call the police, right? This guy is acting, if I wanted to kill myself, I'm a martial artist, I would kill myself like that. So that's out of the question. I'm not a cutter. I'm not a guy who tries to commit suicide. So what is it really about? It then must be about oppression and the repression of political dissent. What else could it logically be about? And if they were to make the argument that it is about safety, then they are delusional. You might as well be sending babies to the psych ward, because you have no more reason to believe that I'm a threat to myself or anyone else than a 5-year-old child. You people want to cry facts and due process. Where is my due process? Where is my fair shake? And all you can do is pretend that you're not persecuting me when I have thoroughly established that. Thoroughly. That is a horse that I have been beating for a long time, and it has been dead for a long time. You must concede my argument, or you will continue to be unrepentant sinners on the very, very, very wrong side of human history. Not the lies you find in history books, but real history, God's history. Something you atheists know nothing about. And that is the problem here. Their philosophies have allowed them to do this, to play stupid. It is about oppression and repression. I promise you that. Thank you.
In a fight revolution, in